So my name is 𝗬𝗲, actually is 𝗬𝗲, but my friends call me 𝗬𝗲. And I'm an emotional recovery and binge eating recovery specialist. I have been binge-free now for 2 years. I'm a dog mom. You'll see Kaiser in most of my photos, in my videos. He comes along, especially when I'm doing yoga. And yeah, that is basically me in a nutshell. I am also a yoga teacher, and I help women recover from binge eating full time. And it's just such an amazing mission. It's so beautiful to see how women, you know, go on their own journeys and recover in their space. So for me, I struggled with binge and emotional eating for over 13 years. I started in 2007. I was highly overweight, lived off cigarettes and coffee, and then I'd get home at night and binge on a full chicken, potatoes, and a bottle or two of wine. So from there, I decided to become healthy. I started running, I quit smoking, the weight started coming off, but instead of being happy with my body, I started obsessing and trying to make my body smaller and smaller all the time. So this was extremely hurtful for me. It was painful. I really abused myself verbally with the way I spoke to myself. I was never happy in my own skin. And this carried on for many years. So often I went through phases where I didn't necessarily binge every day, but at least once, twice a week I would binge. And I started making up for it in exercise by cultivating an unhealthy relationship with exercise. So I would go running 60 to 100 kilometers a week and still do gym. Sometimes I'd run to the gym, do a workout, and then run home 8 kilometers. So just to burn off some of the food that I've eaten during the week, or some of the food that I might be eating on the weekend. So in 2015, I had a blood clot in my brain, and I was no longer allowed to do strenuous exercise. So, and from there, I actually realized how bad my binge eating was. So I was in denial all the time. I was on like every diet you can name, and I just thought that I would be able to stop and get a grip of what's happening for me. But everything I tried, I was never happy with what my body looked like. I got to each goal weight and I would want to lose more. There was always more fat that I needed to pinch on the side of my hips or my stomach. And I just felt like this was going to be a never-ending circle for me. So when this blood clot happened, obviously I couldn't over-exercise. I could do very minimal. I was able to still run, but maximum 2 to 3 kilometers at a time. And that's when I really realized how badly I was abusing food and exercise to make up for how I was eating. So I really felt helpless. And in 2017, I thought, well, you know, like I've tried everything else, like since then, tried for 2 years, still struggling with all sorts of healthy lifestyle shakes, pills, injections, you name it, and nothing really worked for me. The binge eating was still there, and that was really painful for me. I couldn't understand why I just couldn't stop eating, and I felt like I was just spiraling down, and I didn't know how I would be able to get there. So for me, that was really hi, if you've just jumped on, just make sure that you're on mute. So basically, I carried on with this sick cycle of restricting my calories extremely high. And I always felt like I needed to get on top of this. And I started in 2016. I had this vision of helping other women not struggle and go through what I did. And, but I never felt that I was worthy of doing that because my body wasn't perfect and I didn't look a certain way. So how was I gonna teach people how to, and back then I wanted people to just teach them how to lose weight because I thought that's where my happiness lied. And anyway, so I kept going on these restrictive diets. I went on my health coaching course. I became a yoga teacher, and I thought all these things would help my binge eating disorder, because yoga is, you know, like becoming like a yoga teacher means I'll have a yoga body. And because I'm in this yoga space, I'll be respecting my body and looking after it even more. So I became even more strict with myself and even more guilt driven every time I ate something bad, because, you know, here I am trying to practice non-self-harm, and I'm eating all these foods that are harming me. So I became quite orthorexic actually during my health coaching and yoga teacher journey. And that is like where this obsessive person, where you just keep obsessing over like always just eating healthy and always just making sure that everything is calorie free, dairy free, sugar free, and toxin free, because all this food will harm you. So I made food my enemy, and this is where I came up with the food prison term. And actually, like so many women I've spoken to have also mentioned food prison, like they feel like they're so trapped by food. And so here's where, you know, my journey has started. And eventually I actually got help. I thought I could do it by myself, but 13 years of doing the same thing over and over again, I realized that obviously, you know, this is not something that I can solve by myself. So I hired a recovery coach. She helped me through it. And then I was actually able to, while I was on my journey, I adapted some of my yoga teachings, some of my meditations, some of my energy work, as well as just essential oils. I brought that all into my own recovery journey. And that's where I kind of, where my food freedom program came from, where I now help women heal on their own journey as well. So I know that was a lot about me, but I thought I would just give you a good background about what I'm all about and why I'm here and what my mission is.